What's up? How you guys doing today? So today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about things such as, you know, just the parts of an anime, the body of an anime. This is going to be my arc, all right, for this season. This is going to be a little series. Basically, things like what in anime would be considered the dream anime that I would desire. Like, what would I want in my dream anime? I'm going to be asking things such as, what do I think is a good anime? What makes a good anime to me? What makes a terrible anime? You know, what are the parts of the anime that I love the most and the parts of the anime that I dislike when it comes to my own, when it comes to the anime taste that I have. So this video right here, I think I'm gonna, let's see what I'm gonna say. Oh, and I'm also gonna talk about, like, all the good shit, all the, what do I dislike about anime? What do I dislike about anime in general? What do I think will improve anime shows? What do I think will make anime shows more appealing? Appealing to the masses and stuff like that. So let me see. What do I want to talk about first when it comes to that? I'm an old school dude, so I like old school style anime. I like 80s and 90s anime the most, but that doesn't mean that I don't love my 2000s anime. Okay. Some examples of old school anime that I really like is stuff like let me see. Give me a second. Of 80s and 90s anime, I love City Hunter. City Hunter is an example of an 80s anime that I like. Dragon Ball is an example of an 80s anime I like. Let's see, what else do we have? What is that one? There's one I'm thinking of. Hold on. You guys give me a second. Let me see. So another example would be Space Cobra. All right. Another example would probably be something like, when it comes to the 2000s, would be Space Dandy. I really love what I like to call adult anime, meaning anime where it's a grown man and it's a grown man going on adventures. It doesn't matter. It can be either in space or it can be on a planet. It can be on Earth, etc., etc. I just like shows that are like Cowboy Bebop, Space Cobra, Space Dandy, City Hunter. Shows like that where it's just a grown man running around trying to get women. These are like usually my favorite types of anime. And the thing about these anime shows that I love is I just love how it's not a teenager, it's an adult. So they can, they can do things that adults are supposed to do and it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Because a lot of the time they'll do this thing where they'll have the teenage anime where it'll be about teenagers and it's like they do like all this inappropriate stuff and it's like, bro, you could have just made them adults. Like a lot of the time they have these anime that are usually in middle school and high school, and in the back of my head I'm always like, why doesn't this anime just be about them being in college? Why do they have to be in high school? Why do they have to be in middle school? Especially in middle school, you could have just made this whole series them in college and it would have made it to where nothing is uncomfortable, nothing is weird, the fan service is not that big of a deal, so this is something that I dislike because I'm always like, you could have just put them in college. An example of this would be a show like, what's that show I was watching about the teenagers that are gang members? What is it called, bro? Y'all know what I'm talking about with Mikey and all that. What is that show called? Give me a second. Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers, they should have all just been in college. Why did they need to be middle schoolers? It's just like, I guess it's like supposed to add like an extra edge, like, holy crap, these kids are super strong because they're little kids, and it's a shonen, I believe. But I always look at it as like, you could have just made them adults. It just would have made it more simple, it would make more sense, and you can do things and people are not going to feel uncomfortable or cringy while they're watching it. But one thing I've realized about anime is that a lot of the time, a lot of these things that are happening in the anime show is the fantasies of the writer, of the creator, of the mangaka. And whether they're men or women, they already have this story in their head and they're like, look, this is the story I want, this is the story I desire, this is the story I'm going to create. And I want it, it's because I'm a writer, so I know how their mind works. to a certain degree. I may not know exactly how people's minds work, but I know it's like they have this fantasy, they have this book that they want, this manga or this light novel that they want to write, and they don't really want to change a lot of stuff. You know, once you get an idea, it can be very hard to try to go back and change a lot of things, especially when you make your story around teenagers. So I always like 90s anime because I like the fact that there's always adults, so anything that's pervy in it is like, it's cool. Like, you don't feel uncomfortable watching it. And I feel like I wish they would do that more with romance anime, where they would have, you know, more characters that are just straight up grown, 18 and up. And I honestly wish there was more manga about adults, which there probably are. I just gotta go look more. I gotta go to, you know, I gotta go to my Barnes and Nobles and look. I gotta go online. And I also notice there's a lot of webtoons that are more adult-esque, which I usually like way more. But I am a dude who loves his romance anime, his romance webtoons, his romance manhwa, manga, comics, whatever. Because I do love my Marvel, my DC. You know, as a man, I love me some romance. I enjoy stories about romance, and I will probably always enjoy stories about romance because it's just fun to see how people can make different types of relationships and how many different ideas that they can kind of try to stick to the wall when it comes to a relationship. You know, even it's like a lot of romance usually is them trying to talk to the person and trying to get the person to open up, to show their affectionate side, take the person on dates, you know. And I feel like they try to make the stuff very realistic, but they do put a lot of different types of, you know, fantasies in there, which makes it more appealing because you like to see, you know, what people are going to create and what's their fantasy, what is their personal fantasy in their mind of what they want to happen. But I have noticed that a lot of the time when it comes to whether it's romance anime, whether it's shonen anime, whether it's mystery and crime, or it's a mix of all of them, everybody usually with their story puts their sexual fantasies, they put their fighting fantasies, they put their you know, their dreams in it, you know, they put some of their real life into it, and they make it very very special to them. You know, it's like a love letter to their own mind. I don't want this to be too long, so I'll see you guys in the next one.